And him just like, first of all, the way he like has you check things is like basically what he's doing in his head. So he's like, all right, like check your third, check your second. All right, like do you have storm going on? Like, all right, check over here, and like you kind of just like get in the motion of like being everywhere.
Yeah.
But then it's also small things like one stupid thing that I did was whenever I had storms on like like 5 High Templar, I didn't know like they didn't like stack in the same place. So I would literally storm like
5
one
times in
radii,
one spot.
yeah, just like 12 times.
Yeah,
And he's
I
like,
made
dude,
that mistake when
you
I
just
was
wasted like literally all of your mana. Like, don't do that. So like seeing like weird, silly mistakes like that is huge, and then also just like the almost like mental awareness of check here, check here, check here.
Yeah.
What's your worker count at? All right, cut probes for now. Like
The mental checklist, as Day9 dubbed it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I actually never heard of that.
To start the match, in the bottom left corner, the yellow Zerg is Loke.
And in the top right, playing the red Zerg, we have AUXdaFox. This is best of 3, as always.
Yeah, but the Day9 mental checklist is he has 4 things you just have to constantly be telling yourself. It's like a mantra you're supposed to repeat to yourself throughout the game to keep your mechanics sharp, and you should always be doing these 4 things at all times.
That's really smart.
There's one thing that he assumes you should be doing at all times, which is building workers. So that's not one of the things you're supposed to repeat in your head. That's supposed to be.
It's like a given.
It's a given. It's supposed to be ingrained in you. Just build workers the whole time. But then, the mantra besides that is money, which means you want to keep your money low.
Okay.
Crap. It's money, units, actually, honestly, I forget it. You'll have to go to YouTube and look up the Day9 mental checklist.
Okay, yeah. Probably like upgrades or something at some point. Well, like
no, it's keep your money low. It's like scout. I forget, honestly, but which is one of the reasons I'm not very good. I don't have a good memory.
You know what you should know, but not what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I actually now that like you're saying it, like phrasing it that way, I'm pretty sure Dreffin, he's like Columbus's, he's Ohio's best melee player. I think he got 60th in the like melee autonomy, 100 ranking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So super like high level player. I'm pretty sure he says he always has like 4 or 5 questions that he like keeps in the back of his mind of like, like what percent's my opponent at? What do they do in this situation? He just has like 4 or 5 instances that like he can repeat and replicate, and then like his answers will provide him a lot of profit in those certain areas. And you can't have too many questions. You can't have too few questions. Like it's a very specific kind of way of thinking. It's almost like when people talk about like memorizing like numbers and stuff. Like 7's the perfect amount of numbers to memorize. And like when you start memorizing more, like you just can't do that. Like humans just aren't able to memorize that much more.
Yeah.
Without like an exorbitant amount of more effort. But it's like those like sweet spots of like thinking and phrasing and like, I don't know. It's a very cool like concept though.
Yeah. Einstein says if you can't explain something simply, then you don't understand it. And that's kind of what the pros can do. They can break the game down into its simple concepts and
makes them like building blocks almost of just like ideas.
Yeah.
All right, looking like a pretty similar game in terms of build order. Getting a little bit more pressure out of Loki though than out of AUXdaFox.
Loki he forgot his speed though. I mean, that's a really late Zergling speed.
Oh yeah.
But AUXdaFox wasn't even prepared. Neither player with a Baneling nest, I believe. And usually in ZVZ, you have a Baneling nest by now.
Yeah, Ox about to finish his up, but that'll be the first of its kind. He did get his 3rd deny, but that might just make him want to go more aggressive. Maybe like cut the drone count earlier than he would have. Okay, he is trying to get that 3rd again.
But so Loki ahead on workers.
And it's going to get his 3rd set up first. Ox is looking for a run by to maybe take this 3rd out. Let's see how ready Loki is to defend it. Pretty ready. Not enough lings though. I think he should lose this battle. Okay, and it is enough.
Still pretty close game though. Loki had a little army advantage there. He did not capitalize on though. OUXdaFox coming back.
Yeah,
now
felt like
evening
he
it
could have
out.
just attacked, like, gone a little bit harder on that base and taken out those lings.
Yeah. Maybe he was flustered because he forgot his ling speed. He probably started thinking, oh, you know what, this isn't gonna work, and he backed off. OUXdaFox moving across the map with some units.
Yeah, everyone's still only really on lings. I don't think anything else has been produced. Yeah, just lings and queens and drones.
You see where OUXdaFox's overlord is at Loki's potential 4th. Loki should have his overlord in the kind of the same spot on the other side of the map, so you can see if your opponent is building a 4th base.
Aux actually has really good vision over his like nearby bases.
Yeah.
Those are all his overlords. So as far as map control goes,
Wow.
The 1 HP overlord.
Rarely do you get to see 1
just
HP.
Barely getting out of there. But yeah, as far as map presence, OUXdaFox compared to Loki is very different. Loki has only 1 overlord on the entire map.
But a lair done for OUXdaFox, going for the Spire. And +1/+1 melee upgrades.
Interesting, the +1/+1 with the Spire. I guess these are about to finish, so.
Yeah, +1 melee attack for Zerglings it's so valuable. It's insane, just because they have such high attack speed. They already do the most DPS of any unit in the game.
Really?
I believe so. If you take into account like surrounding.
Okay,
stuff,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
They actually, I think, do more damage than a Marine for their cost.
Yeah, yeah.
But
because you do get 2 of them for each,
those could be old numbers. I haven't crunched the numbers in a while.
All right, Nox getting his 4th, and just like you said, Loki does not have an overlord close enough to get this 4th vision. Where OUXdaFox knows that Loki doesn't have a 4th unless he's getting it all the way up here, but
And Loki is going for.
it's pretty spread out.
He's building only roaches right now with +1 attack. It's a little late +1 attack upgrade. OUXdaFox already on +2/+2 researching for his melee units.
And his mutas are about to come out. It almost looks like, I think this happens with OUXdaFox and Lingboy a lot, where Ox will go into early roaches, and then Lingboy will have the mutas out,
Yeah.
and just be able to hold those off, and just, basically, they're worth so much more later on in the game, that over time, it just becomes, like, way in Lingboy's favor. It looks like that's the route OUXdaFox is going, but if Loki can do enough damage, I think, with this initial attack, he might be able to save himself from that, just slow kind of snowball effect that Ox might have once he gets these mutas out.
I mean, this is a tough call though. It's Loki does not have speed for his roaches. It's halfway done. He's building a Hydralisk den behind it all. So he's gonna be able to kill the mutas if he starts building enough Hydras. And
Ooh, an Ox with an infestation pit.
here we go. He probably can take out this 3rd base. Nope, never mind. OUXdaFox was ready.
Yeah, and gets a complete surround. And just destroys that. That's GG probably. I mean, with mutas and this entire ground army.
Yeah, Lings and Banes are amazing against Hydralisks.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for Loki to get out of this.
Loki needs to, I mean...
Making 20 more lings. Just try to defend.
Yeah, I don't see a way Loki could come back. I mean, I guess, some good Baneling hits. He has 6 Banelings on the way. That could bring him back in it. OUXdaFox is going to have to really pay attention to his units, though.
And
not
the 4th is, in that kind of weirder spot, but it is undiscovered, which is a little bit nice. Might be a little bit of a saving grace, but that's so many lings, and they have +2/+2 compared to Loki's 1/1. I mean, that alone is huge, and then the army supply, some good Bane hits, but yeah, not nearly enough.
Huh, 2 spores, though.
I would
That's
probably
really good against
pull the mutas out, because the mutas aren't even really necessary right here.
Yeah, they are
Let
not.
the lings do their work.
But it's already probably too late. Yeah, OUXdaFox looking like the true Zerg with an overwhelming swarm.
He's just going to take that 3rd and get out of there because he wants just to keep his advantage. But I feel like if he just moved in, he would probably take it right now.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, you shouldn't just back off after you have a successful attack. You send 1 or 2 units into their natural, see how much army they have
Yeah,
still.
see what's up. Because I was gonna say it definitely isn't right to also like push when you have an advantage. Because I think that's kind of what happened with Aux actually against Lingboy. The last game that they played, Aux had a really good initiation, and then he kind of pushed too hard. He tried to like get into a wall that was just a little bit too aggressive, and he lost too much going in and trying to get out. That Lingboy was able to counterattack. So you don't want to push so hard that like you lose all your army, and you're prone to a counterattack. But this is not. He'd have to lose so many units to lose half his army. Like,
just imagine if Banelings saved the day.
Just 30
here.
Banelings destroyed.
I mean, this is enough Banelings to save the day if he gets good hits. I don't know if there's enough Hydras behind it.
Are there any Hydras?
Yeah, there. Looks like there's a few. Yeah, there's a good amount.
8 Hydras. Okay, they just weren't with the main army, I guess.
Oh, okay, smart.
Oh, but
the Mutas kill the Banelings.
I was gonna say, yeah, so many Banelings just got taken out. And
he only has 1 Baneling left, and he's morphing more, but it might be too late. There's a snipe on the other Baneling. Yeah,
Snipe
this
on
is
some of the Hydras.
175 supply to 80, going lower.
And the Mutas can also just out DPS these Hydras at this point. I mean, the Queens might be able to help a little bit, but this is looking real bad.
Nice play by AUXdaFox.
Yeah. And now he will actually just collapse on top of the army. But huge reinforcement round of Lings as well.
But you know what we call it in StarCraft when you wait till the very last thing to die to leave? It's called the fantasy GG timing. Because a pro Terran player named Fantasy, he won't leave until all his shit is dead. Because
jeez. And it's a Terran, which means it's like the hardest to kill all of his buildings.
He also will have crazy comebacks.
Yeah, I mean,
where he actually is worth it for him to stay in it.
Haas is, I think, for me, like, as far as protesters go, is one of those that, like, he'll be down, like, 50 workers, you know, like, looks like he's down and out. But if he has a Warp Prism and if he has Immortals, he's staying in that game until that Warp Prism goes down.
Yeah.
Every time. All right, so the next game we're going to go to Port Alexander. And look, Loki already up. Come over to Ox. I love Loki.
He's the god of mischief. He won't sit still. He's got to go. Be mischievous.
He's got to be memeing somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, we should put the Wandering Minerals mod on. Have you ever seen that? Where when you select the mod at the beginning, there's a Wandering Minerals mod, and the minerals literally move around.
Oh, what?
It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things. There's a lot of goofy mods like that.
That's hilarious. We should have like an April Fool's like tournament or something like that where we do like just goofy weird mods.
Yeah, there's like zombie mod where all the units once they die they come back once they have 1 extra.
Oh, they have
life.
1 extra. That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Lings would be Banelings actually would be really terrifying.
Oh man, yeah, that would be.
Because Banes would just keep exploding. All right, looks like they're ready.
Yeah, every unit gets pretty scary when it becomes a zombie.
My vengeance shall be swift. Loki ready to take back his Zerg title.
He should change his name to Shakespeare. See. Quite a poet. In the top left corner, the yellow Zerg player. It is Loke.
And he's up 1-0. He's the red Zerg player. It is AUXdaFox. Alright, let's see if they continue to play normal for the beginning or if they're going to go for some cheese. I know Aux
looks pretty normal.
Aux enjoys cheese, but today he's been playing pretty normal.
Ah.
I would love to see I know Shen did it one game against Lingboy where he did the spine crawler like right on the outside of the vision.
Yeah, that's what worked for me against him last time.
Oh, it may have just been you then instead of Shen.
Yeah, I know I did that. But I got lucky too because they were in his vision and he didn't.
Yeah, he just didn't see it until way too late. That was such a fun game to watch.
It was kind of one of those things like this is so stupid it might work.
Yeah, it's sometimes they say, you know, it's not stupid if it works or if it, like it's not bad if it works.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree and disagree with that sentiment, but I do love it in practice. Like, Yeah, I mean, if you're at level 3 and the other person at level 1, like level 1 beats level 3 if you're expecting level 2. So
Okay.
it's like a very, have you ever, do you know about like Yomi levels or whatever? Like it's like, I think Yomi is like Japanese for like mind reading,
Oh.
basically, but it's kind of, someone compared it to like poker,
Oh.
where level 1 is like, what do I have? Level 2 is what does my opponent have? Level 3 is what does my opponent think I have? And then you can always
So
get
yeah, the
deeper.
level 3 players aren't even, or the level 1 players aren't even thinking about the game.
Yeah,
the
so
level 3
you're
players are
playing yourself. You're like, all right, so if he thinks I have this, I'm gonna outbet myself, and
Yeah.
you're doing all these calculations that like he's not forcing you to do them, and you actually kind of play yourself, and you end up almost working backwards because you're going too deep into the kind of meta game.
But
But that's what's great about games that are like kind of rock paper scissors esque. I don't want it to sound too easy.
Poker aspects,
but
incomplete information.
Exactly.
Allows for bluffing and deceiving.
A lot of weird stuff going on.
But so far, pretty normal. Looks like OUXdaFox a little behind on his queens. Just barely, but
Yeah, he's getting a few more lings out. He might be going for a little bit of pressure, and I hope. Okay, I was gonna say I hope Loki doesn't forget about speed lings for too long.
OUXdaFox was ahead on the queens. I just thought the bars, for some reason, the bars to me looked like they were loading at different spots. Same exact time, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, but the Overlord might die unless no, it's gonna make it to that platform.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
it'll
not.
be fine.
He's not taking to the platform though.
Oh, the little right here where it has no
yeah,
high ground.
you can put the Overlord over the fan and it
Keeps it
it's
cool.
a high ground area. Yeah, it keeps it cool and
Yeah, luckily
Man.
without creep, this Overlord will get away from the queen, and now with this Overlord coming in,
yeah, he wouldn't have been able
yeah,
to
what
get away
Aspination
with
was
it.
just talking about. He can't do it now; it is denied. But yeah, that is especially against other races that don't have flying units out till like way later. It's really annoying for like you just know that the Overlord's right there,
Yeah.
but have nothing to be able to shoot it. I know there's some weird stuff. I guess it's not on this map because that wouldn't work out. But there are some spots where like if you have a probe like come to your like high ground over here, you like see like, for the other maps that that Overlord perch is in a different spot. Sometimes you can finagle like a probe or something to see that high ground, but yeah.
Look at these players. They passed each other on the map, and OUXdaFox actually he paused in the middle of the map for a little bit. So Loki got to his side of the map first, and it forced him to turn around. Just even though he has so much more Zerglings, he decided to turn around with everything.
Yeah, he was actually able to get a queen and then get out of there unscathed. So really good stuff from Loki.
And Loki doesn't know that there's this much army though. He shouldn't be building drones.
Yeah, now it's looking a little bit scary though. Now that Ox finished up those lings, took out the third.
Is there Baneling nest done for Ox? I think there is. There's gotta be.
No.
Oh, there's
Ox
not.
has nothing.
Well, Loki has his Baneling nest. This is pretty good for him. If he wanted to attack, he could, because you could just leave a couple Banelings at home with your queens, and you're pretty safe against a bunch of lings.
Yeah, especially if the lings are just like, moved into your base. They're not like super hard microed.
Yeah.
They're literally just gonna attack move on a Baneling and just pretty much all die at once.
But Loki, he needs to learn to have his overlords out, because look, there's lings sitting outside his base. He could have had an overlord over there already and know that there was lings over to the right side of, or like towards the middle of the map.
Yeah,
right now.
like right over here. I've never seen a wall off with a macro hatch at the natural, but I don't hate it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
All right, these lings should win the engage, but yeah, you gotta get out of there when the Banelings show up. And Ox's Bane nest is about to finish up.
And he almost has his lair done. And he has a lot. Third base, even though they're on the same amount of workers, it is pretty substantial to have that third base done.
Yeah, actually able to start mining whenever you're able to get workers over there. And he has the macro hatch, so he even has like the larva production super in his favor.
Yeah, whereas Loki is just floating those minerals.
Alright, these Banes are going to come in, see if they can do some damage. Most of Ox's army is across the map. But really, Loki is the one that needs to defend more than Ox does.
Yeah.
Ox could really let this third base go and still be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I really wish Loki would have his overlords
Oh,
more spread out on the map. Oh man,
and
yeah.
all those Banes just went to get the hatchery, got some splash on the queen, but I don't think they got one kill.
The rest of those lings actually could have finished
Oh.
it off, but they didn't even really. He wasn't thinking about that.
I mean, at least the Lings got some good worker kills.
Yeah,
Got
but
9
they're
workers
still
down.
even on workers.
Yeah, and Loki still is only on 2 bases. And these mineral patches, I mean, it still has a little while till they mine out, but
Yeah,
if you're on 2 bases for the entire game, like, they start getting so low so fast.
yeah.
Especially when you're oversaturated like he's. Ooh, that was.
Good micro by AUXdaFox.
Did Loki just accidentally? Oh no, okay. They were Ox's Banes.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the team colors.
Yeah, I
apart.
totally thought that like Loki accidentally destroyed his own Banes with his Banes.
Yeah, there's actually a setting in the options. You can make the team colors stronger.
Oh, where it's always red and blue.
Well, it'll just make the red and blue bright or like more apparent
Oh,
on
just
the
make
units.
it like more colorful, basically.
So the Zerglings for AUXdaFox would look even more red than they do.
Okay.
And in the Banelings, I believe their butts or whatever you'd call it, the
Yeah, the sack.
bulbs, the sack, yeah, the sack would be colored red, whatever color the team is.
Okay, rather
instead
than
of
just
green.
being that like yellow greenish. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out for future
Yeah.
casts. Ooh.
Wouldn't hurt.
Banelings, there's so many Bane busts or like Baneling explosions. I can't really tell who's coming out ahead.
Yeah, you just gotta look at the army supply.
But a lot of things are exploding right now.
Hydras against Banelings, not a very good idea.
Yeah, I mean even Hydras against Lings. Like there's so many
Yeah.
Lings that if you get some surrounds. Although he's not focusing down the Hydras, so the Lings were cleaned up.
Oh, that was really good.
Jeez.
That.
The splatter of the Lings is so funny.
I mean, if he had his third base up, he'd definitely still be in this right now. He still could win. He still could come back and win, but AUXdaFox looking like he's in a decent position.
Yeah, the importance of hatches for Zerg is just like so big with like it being your like larva and stuff.
Yeah.
And Aux being up 4 hatches to 2, and then 3 mineral patches to 2 is like such a big lead.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna get more and more drastic as time goes on. Little Ling run by here, probably just more to scout than to actually do anything. Oh, okay, if you get maybe 2 Banes in here, I don't think that's ever gonna happen though. It's just not enough.
Yeah. AUXdaFox is probably going to start running
Ooh,
away with it.
at the
Oh,
perfect time to scout this lurker den too.
if he clicked on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
It was fairly quick that the Lings got in there and died. Getting a couple mutas out. That might be the nail in the coffin, honestly. Lurkers might not even come into play. Because it depends on the timing.
I think Loki, he was smart enough to skip Hydra range. If you want to go like more lurkers, which you would in ZBZ, you pretty much skip Hydra range unless you're going to use a bunch of Hydras.
Yeah, if you're only going to use Hydras to go into lurkers, it doesn't really make sense to get Hydra range.
Yeah. Speed is pretty good though because you can reinforce them to the other side of the map quicker if you're fighting on the other side. But here we go, maybe the final battle of the game.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get under these overlords.
They're running for their lives right now.
And that looks like that's probably it. 18 army supply to 64. I mean, Banelings can do a lot, but especially now with mutas in the mix, I'm not really seeing it.
Has Loki gotten up from his chair yet is the question. No, he's still there.
Yeah, that's the real question.
We hear his cries.
Oh god, yeah, I wish so badly that we just had live audio on all the players. Dude, cocoons are so armored. They're so like
Yeah.
ridiculous to kill. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, these lurkers are gonna finish and maybe hold off for like a little bit, but he's gonna be on 1 base against 3, and with no anti-air. I just don't.
Oh.
I was gonna say yeah, he gets it down, but like
He gets the lurkers burrowed.
that's not
Oh,
gonna do anything to
they
the
have,
Hydras.
they
Oh
have
yeah, and he has an
detection.
overseer. That's GG. I mean, it's game over. It's not GG yet.
No more.
Because it's Loki.
Yeah, no more mischief happening in the GameArena building. Now that Loki is done for.
Scratching his head, I think. He's got to be done.
Now, I mean, you Smash Brothers players, you're trying to DI back on, you're trying to stay in the stage as long as you can. This is basically the equivalent. He's at 300% right now.
He's got some hydras out. He's teching everything. Like,
Does he have any lurkers still?
I think he has one.
Oh,
He's got two. So he's got one at like 0 health.
If he would have had the lurkers at the top of the ramp there, they would have destroyed those lings coming up the ramp.
Still destroyed a lot of the
He killed the
lanes.
detection, so there's no detection for AUXdaFox.
This is ridiculous. Lings are going to keep coming in here, just throwing lings at the bases, praying that eventually one of these will trigger a GG.
Maybe, if not, I mean, maybe you don't win, but maybe you get the most kills you've ever had with a lurker.
Yeah, let's check. 44 kills, 28 kills. This lurker is a godsend. 7 health, 1 health. Oh, that's the last lurker.
Oh, you know what, too? Like, you actually didn't even need... since the lurkers were near the buildings, he didn't even really need detection to kill them either, because the glaives from the mutas bounce off and hit any unit around him. And I think they can hit cloaked units.
And Loki is up in his chair. There we go. I was going to say, he went over to AUXdaFox, probably told him good game in person before typing it out. That will be... All right.
He's using what little power he can.
Yeah, the few seconds of fame he has left. All right.
GG's.
And that will be the last pool game. Yeah, I'll probably just talk to Loki.